Hello Steelers, and welcome to this next bench report and hobby update. I've actually been pretty busy since I got back from Vienna last week. I mentioned a couple of these things already last week, and I'm just going to show you that I'll finish them off really. The first thing is this sharp practice deployment zone. This is a French one. I've already got a British one, so this is the French one here. This is the two officers and also two musicians as well, which I got from Eureka. I also got a Fighting 15's flag set as well, just to put on the flag there. So that's done. I wanted that done for Thursday last week because I was introducing a couple of the guys at the club to sharp practice, so I wanted to get that out of the way and done, and I did, and that was a good thing. One other thing I forgot to mention was in the last one, I was just before Christmas and also now as well, I was just working on these, which you can see here in their storage trays. These are combat patrol markers for O group. What I've done here, instead of just using the normal circular things that I was using, which were just cut out cardboard pieces, I decided to actually up the game a little bit, just make them a bit more interesting, and I've created these. I've got some circular bases from War Bases. These are 50mm, so 2 inches, which is the size recommended in the rules, and then I've just added 3 figures to each one of them. It just makes the table look a little bit nicer when they're on there, and they're a lot different to the actual bases of the other figures as well, so they'll stand out quite a lot on the in the game. I'm not going to tell too much about these because I've got a couple of painting videos coming of these at some point in the future anyway, so you'll see them there and then. But that was just something I forgot to mention in the last one that I'd done relatively recently, so that was good and out of the way. Before I get onto the big main event here, the other things I'm working on currently are the Eureka 18mm British artillery here. I've only undercoated these at this point. These aren't going to take very long to paint up, but they're just sitting there just waiting because my mind has been slightly distracted this week from other things, which I'm going to show you in a second. But they, as I said, they are just sitting there waiting at the moment, ready to go. The other day as well, I also got in the post, I got the British Paratrooper box set by Plastic Soldier Company. This just came through just on Saturday, so literally a day or so ago. This has been recorded on Sunday. And I also got as well from Skytrex, or Warlord as they've been taken over now, these 8 British Para Jeeps, so the airborne Jeeps. So there's 144 figures I think in the British Paratroop box from Plastic Soldier Company, and also these Jeeps as well. And the reason I got these is because in the Wargaming Soldiers and Strategy issue, what is it, issue 116, Nick Skinner from the Two Fat Lardies wrote an article on, let me just see, the Arnhem Ambush, as you can see here, in which he laid out an attack by British airborne paras using jeeps, or reconnaissance jeeps, on German positions during the Arnhem fighting. So I thought that would be quite a nice, interesting little project. Pretty succinct. You could play this with chain of command. Probably, if you wanted to play with bolt action or anything else, you'll probably be able to get the PDF of this on their website, or even a back issue as well from the WSS website. Worthwhile checking out. It's a good magazine anyway. I do subscribe to it. It's a good little magazine, independent magazine that's worthwhile having a look at. So the idea is to make up a force of these using 4 chain of command, so that'll be about 40 of the figures, and then there's, as I said, there's about 144 in here. So what I'll do with the rest is I will probably mount them in multiples, and then they can be used in things like O group, or even IMB Shot Mum, or any other kind of larger game that I want to use them in. So although I only need 40 immediately, I'll have a good choice for using other figures. And I also, I wanted some British paras because I don't have any. I've got some American and German paras, but no British ones. And the next big thing that I have been doing this week, let me just show you this, is these 2 boxes arrived here from Mr. Jim Muir. and these are absolutely, I'm not going to get them all out, but these are absolutely packed with First World War 1/300th aircraft. Don't worry, he didn't send them to me like this. He packed them really, really nicely, so they came perfectly well. I've just stored them like this, just while I'm painting them. So I've got a load of British in there, and I've also got absolute tons here of Germans. And Jim very, very kindly printed these for me on his 3D printer. I don't have one. Also my mate Paul down at the club, he also printed a bunch out for me as well from the STL files that Jim provided, so thanks to Paul for that as well. But Jim was thanking me for a game of Chain of Command, Star Wars Chain of Command, that I put on during Virtual Lard, and he wanted to say thank you, so he printed those out, and I thought that was a really, really nice thing of him to do. And what it's done, it's kind of led me down, as I say, my eye was taken away from sharp practice just this week, because probably one of my main loves in military history is First World War aircraft. It always has been ever since I was a kid. When I was a real young kid, I was about 11. I think we had to do a presentation in class, in one of our classes at school, and I did a presentation on the Anthony Fokker's interrupter gear. So that shows you how far back my interest in First World War aircraft go. We're several decades away. And what I've been doing this week is mostly painting these 1/300th aircraft. So I've got quite a few here out of Jim's box, so to speak. I've done 3 Sopwith Camels, 3 SE-5As, 3 Bristol Fighters, 2 RE-8s. I've also done 3 Fokker D7s. I've also painted up 3 Albatross D5As, and I'm in the middle of painting some Fokker triplanes as well, so I've got a good selection. The reason I've done more British aircraft than German aircraft is because I simply have more decals for the Brits over here. So these are some I-94 ones which I've had for quite a while. Unfortunately, I don't have any First World War German 1/300 scale ones yet, but I've got some in the post coming soon, so then I'll make a big blast on the German stuff. I've been looking for Dom's decals. I know Dom, for ill health, has certainly not been in action for the last few years, and I wish him a speedy recovery, whatever's happening. But if there is anybody out there that's watching that's got 1/300th scale German decals that they don't want, or even British or French ones from Dom's decals, let me know in the comments. I'd be more than happy to buy them, because they are the best on the market, and I'd love to get my hands on some of them. I've got some in 1/1/4 scale, but not in 1/300 scale. And the other thing to mention, I did mention it in the last video, was that I've actually made these flight stands as well, as part of the Algernon Pulls It Off project that I'm currently in the middle of. And this I'm going to cut now to a little video just to show you how I made these. So if you're thinking about buying them, I'll put some links in the description below for the eBays that I bought, and this will show you exactly how I bought them. So taking your hexagon base and also your rod, acrylic rod, I just put a tiny blob of super glue onto another old plastic piece. Drop the acrylic rod onto the super glue blob itself, and then using some CA accelerator, which is great stuff for when you're using super glue, I'll just spray that over the top, and it instantly bonds the super glue to the acrylic rod as well. It can cause frosting sometimes, the super glue, so just be careful of that. Try not to get it too messy, and just try and keep it on the base of the rod itself. The next part is slightly more tricky. This is gluing the magnets to the top, but what you want to do is glue a magnet to one of your aircraft. Make sure you get the polarities correct, and just make sure that it is glued in place on the aircraft and fixed, and use all the magnets going the same polarity. And then same again, a small blob of super glue on some crappy plastic. I will then also just drop the acrylic rod into the super glue at the top, so you got some super glue there, and then a quick spray with the CI accelerator. I'm sorry, I'm making a little bit of a mess of this myself, but it does work with a bit of patience and persistence. And you can see here, if you get it lined up right, and I've got a load of magnets there, because I can easily break them off when I need to once it's dry. I'm just
using the length of the magnet stack to help me to get it into place. There's probably an easier way of doing this, but this is just the way I did it, and I'm fairly sure you'll do a better job of it than I will, but this is just to demonstrate the process of working your way through these flight stands. Nice and simple. There's the CA spray, and as I say, once it's give it a couple of seconds, and then once it's dry you can just take off the magnets themselves and the aircraft, and you've got yourself a magnetised aircraft stand.
So that pretty much wraps it up for this one, I think. There's not a great deal more to say at this point. As I say, I'm working my way through the British and German aircraft at the moment, and some of the French as well. I'll be working on the Paratroopers at some point in the future, more short practice things. So I've got more than enough for the moment to go on with. If you've enjoyed this, please do give me a like, subscribe if you're not already subscribed to the channel. Do say hello in the comments below. And as I say, if anybody has 1/300th scale aircraft decals, please do let me know, because I am desperate for them. And one last thing just to mention, the Algernon project as well is picking up speed quite a lot here, so do keep an eye out for a video coming very soon with some very exciting news about Algernon. So I'll leave it at that and say thank you and good night, Steelers.